is going to be recorded. So just so you all are aware, you can use this at a later time. Those teachers that are here, there are some of our teachers and students that weren't able to be on today because of weather situations. So for those of you that are here, we're excited that you're here, but just keep in mind that this is also being recorded.
Yes. Oops, let me move this over here. I just have to change some of my device settings. Sorry, I tried to share my sound. So if Charity, if you don't mind taking over this slide, and
sure.
I will set my
I just got to get back to that slide. I'm right here.
Well, no, I have it shared. You can still use. Yeah.
Awesome. So, all right. Couple of things, little housekeeping pieces before we get into the lesson itself is, again, please keep your microphones muted. They should by default be muted. Also, if you have the ability to turn your video on so we can see you, that would be great. And Jamie, I know some of our people are not able to turn that on. So if you could help me with that in the background, that would be great. Also, we're going to be using the Teams chat. And so if you have questions, yes, there are some students that are virtual today because of weather. And yes, your teachers are here also virtually with you, in addition to us being here as well. So use that Teams chat for that. And again, please remember to be respectful. And again, this is being recorded. And so this will be able to be used by people all over the globe. So we're excited to be able to share this lesson with you all. There we have some smiley faces coming in. All right.
All right. So, all right. So just a quick introduction. We are Charity and Mary. We are your guest teachers today. And my name is Mary Valome. I am an English and Latin teacher, and I'm also an ed tech trainer and professional learning specialist with NCCE. I am in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So if you've ever heard of LSU, you know the LSU Tigers, that's where I am.
And I am Charity Nix. I am coming to you from snowy Minneapolis, Minnesota. We are expecting a 3-day snowstorm. So those of you that don't get to see snow, you can always come and visit us up here in Minnesota. But I am a former science teacher, physical education teacher, and health teacher. And I now work for the state of North Dakota and do technology integration. And I am so excited to have you guys with us here today.
All right, so when we're going to get started in just a minute, but we do want to show this brief trailer about what Cloudcraft is all about. Cloudcraft is a new world that's in Minecraft, and it's built to teach you about data centers. It's something we can't go into data centers and do a tour of, so the engineers have built a data center within Minecraft. So let's see what this is all about. We're going to watch this real brief trailer about Cloudcraft.
The cloud is everywhere, present in almost every piece of technology you use. So what if you could explore the cloud through a game? Welcome to Cloudcraft, living with the cloud. Your mission today is to keep the cloud safe and people connected while you solve problems facing your data center. You'll watch your community grow as people connect, learn, thrive, and get cutting-edge jobs. The data center needs your help. Are you ready, Agent?
Okay, so as you can see from the video, and maybe what you do know, I would love for you guys to share with me in the chat. So this is one of those times where you can use the chat. I want to know what you guys think the cloud is. What is the cloud? What is the cloud? So go ahead and put that in the chat. And those of you teachers that have your students with you, go ahead and have them share with you, and you can put that in the chat as well. It's the internet. It's where, okay, you store information, saves your photos. Good. Okay. Great. All of these are great answers. So what I want to share with you is that, yes, the cloud is a network of computing facilities that actually provides remote storage via the internet. Now, it's not necessarily up in the sky. Okay, so you think of the clouds and you look outside at the clouds, it's not necessarily those clouds, but it is the internet. So it allows you to access your information, whatever information that is, remotely from a different location. So why do we save our work and why do we engage on online activities through the cloud? Why is it good to save your schoolwork, let's say, to the cloud or play a game online? Why do we do that? Go ahead and put that in the chat as well. So why do we do that? Sophie, good, in case we lose it. Good, so we don't lose it. It's very large. Okay, great. Because it's safe. Carson, I love that answer. That is a great answer. So you don't have to redo it. Absolutely. So let's think of some examples of the information that we put in the cloud. Now, some of you did put this in some of your answers earlier. What are some of the things that you would have to put in the cloud? What would you do? What would you put in the cloud? What would you save there? Photos, great. Yep, it sounds like you guys save your photos to the cloud, which is smart. Projects, great. Videos, yes, those high volume, those large file type of things. So yes, and so we can keep that data safe. Here's some other reasons why we would use this, okay? One, you can access those games, you can access those photos anywhere, right? It also allows you to share them. How many of you share photos with your friends, right? In a safe way. This is a way for you to do it. And it does keep your data safe, as so many of you did mention, because it requires your username and your individual password, which is so important for you to keep safe and to yourself. That is what allows you to access your information. So again, some of those examples that you guys have been putting out there, your pictures, right? Maybe it's some of your homework that your teachers are asking you to do. So those papers that you're writing. Maybe it's games that you're playing. It could be Minecraft that you're playing at home, and you're doing a project in school and you want to be able to work on it at home in Minecraft Education Edition. You can do that because then you do use your username and password to log in, and it's a safe place. So I want to share with you some images of data centers. And so here you're going to see just a variety, but when we're talking about data centers, and while you guys are in this lesson today, we want you to be thinking about really where are you and what environment are you in and what is it doing for the surroundings in your community around you, okay? So how do your data centers affect your communities? Well, a couple of ways. They provide jobs. They can bring income into the community. And as you go through some of these positions and missions within the data center today, you're going to see your data center grow and your community grow. And so you will be able to see how that actually happens within this environment. Okay. So in the top left picture here, you're going to see a data center in Quincy, Washington. Okay. On the top right, this is a data center in Chicago, Illinois. So we have some out on the west side of the United States. We have some in the Midwest, in the central part of the states here. But here's also a Microsoft data center in the bottom left that's in Dublin, Ireland. Okay, look at the vast size. Look at how large this data center is. And when you think about all of the information that is stored here, okay, this is how large these data centers can be, but also keep in mind, data centers can be very small. As a matter of fact, this data center on the bottom right, now this is where I want you to start thinking about data centers and how this also can impact your environment. So when we talk about data centers, if you know about data centers and storage, this equipment can get very hot. So the data center on the right was a test. It was an underwater data center that Microsoft is testing. The reason that they were testing is because instead of using electricity to cool the data center, they wanted to use water, which was a natural resource, right? So when you think about data centers, I also want you to think about environment. I want you to think about sustainability and efficiency. How can you help these engineers, the architects, to develop data centers that are more efficient, that are more sustainable? So you guys are going to have the opportunity to explore some of these careers within our Minecraft game. Okay, So what we're going to do is we're going to steer away from our Teams chat now, and we're going to start to focus on what we're going to be doing. Again, as Miss Mary said in the beginning, we're going to be using what's called a Padlet. The Padlet is a resource that's going to allow you to collaborate and put your experience in a location where everyone else can see. Now, keep in mind, this is a global tool. So everybody that comes to do this lesson, whether they're with us today or whether they watch the recording, are going to be able to see all of your answers. So we want to use good digital citizenship. We want to be respectful, right? So when you go to this URL, you're going to see this particular Padlet, okay? And in here, you're going to see that there's a technician, an architect, an engineer, security, and recycling. And then there are some extra questions that we are asking you to reflect on, okay? Now, this is important because we want to get a feel for what your experience was like within Minecraft, okay? But we are not going to go there yet. The first thing that you're going to have to do is complete the missions. Now we're getting very close to getting into Minecraft, but I need you guys to stay focused with me here, okay? So what you're going to be doing is you are going to be going into the data center. You are a new employee and you're going to talk to your boss. And so there are 5 different missions that you are going to complete. The key thing to remember is that Sloan may start on one mission and Julius may be on another mission and Aspen might be on another mission and I might be on a completely different mission. You may be on a different mission than your classmates, than your peers, than anyone else on the call today. And that's okay. You will be able to complete a total of 5. Here are those 5 missions. The first one is a technician. So you will experience the life of a technician within a data center. The second one is an architect. The third one, an engineer. 4th, security. And the 5th, recycling. Recycling in a data center, yes, very, very important. And so you're going to be seeing all of these different aspects within this one world. And again, you may get through all 5. You may not get through one. It depends on which mission you get into and how well you are able to navigate, problem solve, and troubleshoot your way through the mission. So what we are going to do is I'm going to get us into Minecraft, and you all should be on the starter page. If you have not gone to Minecraft Education Edition, I'd like you to go there now. And we are going to be on this page. And I cannot emphasize enough, you guys, you need to stay with me here, okay? I'm going to guide you through a couple of first steps. And then once we get you into the world, we're going to let you go and you're going to have 20 minutes to be in world and explore. Okay? So once you get here, I'm going to show you how to find the specific world that we're going to be going into. There's 2 different ways. Because this world is new, you can find it in the new and featured, but I want to show you how you're going to be able to find it once it's no longer new and featured. Okay, so follow along with me. Go ahead. We're going to click on play. And once you get into play, we're going to go into view library. Okay, once we get into view library, we're going to go into the subject kits. And in the subject kits, we're going to go into computer science. This is where our data center world is located. Okay, so from the library into the subject kits, into computer science, and now we're going to go into digital skills. Once you get into digital skills, we're going to go into Cloudcraft. When you click on Cloudcraft, you're going to click Create World. From there, do not go farther than where I'm going. Stay with me, okay? I know it's exciting and we're going to get in here, but I need to guide you through this a little bit first and give you some information. So as this is loading, again, there are 5 different missions. The first thing that you're going to be is spawned into a specific area. in which then we're going to go and talk to the boss. So that you always want to make sure that you are paying attention to NPCs, which are those non-player characters, but you're also paying attention and reading the instructions. If you want, you can also use the accessibility tools and the immersive reader, which will be able to allow you to have that information read to you. Okay. If you don't have computer science, Jocelyn, you can go into the new and featured, and Cloudcraft will be in there as well. Okay. So I am going to open these doors and I'm going to walk out the door. When I walk out, I should get a message from my boss, as you can see on my screen. It says, "Good morning. Today is your first day on the job." Okay. And you are going to be working in the Data Center Emergency Task Force. Every time you visit your favorite website, you check your email, you play Minecraft, or your device is reading information stored at a data center. These data centers power the internet. So you are going to go to headquarters and find your boss for more information. Okay, so we need to follow the white particles on the path. So we're going to say on the way. Now we got to look for those little white particles. There they are. So we're going to navigate and follow those white particles. If you came out the doors, you're going to go to the left. Okay. Now you will see as we come closer, we have this NPC here. It looks kind of big, rough, and tough. That is one of our security guys. You can see the security cameras. Start to be aware of your surroundings. We're going to walk around that entry. And you will see here, we're still following those sparkles. And we have an NPC there. Okay. And here is the 2 doors to our data center. Here's our boss. My boss is telling me, I forgot to mention, you have to tap on the biometric scanner to open the door. This is a line of security. Biometrics is using your biology, either your eyes or your fingerprints, to actually get into the data center. For those that may not be aware, you cannot just walk into a data center easily. You have to be an employee in order to get in there. They just don't let anybody in there. All right, so here's our boss. Nice to meet you in person. I'm so glad you're here. There's several emergencies. We need your help. Press the buttons on the wall to get more information about each emergency. Finishing a mission will award you with a skill certificate. We would love for you guys to take a screen capture of your skill certificates when you accomplish them. We want to see all the great things that you were able to do. When you collect all 5 certificates, you're going to be able to gain access to the C-Lab experience in the operating area, which you will see your community grow as you complete these. Okay, so be very aware and not rush through. We want you to experience the whole environment. So on this wall, you're going to see those 5 different missions, right? You may have a different one than I have. Right now, my architect is the one that's my emergency that I have to go into. So I'm going to click this button down here, and it's going to take me where I need to go. Okay. And this is going to start my architect. Now you might have a different mission, which may be security. It might be recycling, whatever mission it is. But from here, follow your instructions, complete the tasks, and then make sure you're taking pictures or screenshots of your certificates when you complete them. If you have paper and pencil near you, write down some notes as you are going through, some tips and tricks. How did you get through some of these areas? Did you have difficulties, whatever that might be? Because we're going to then have you add that to the Padlet later on. Okay? If you have questions, you can put those in the chat, but we're going to keep the chat just for questions. We want you in world and we want you accomplishing these missions. All right? Go ahead.
question about how do I push the button and then what if you're left click the bottom button. Okay. And we have another question that it says it's not working. I'm not quite sure what's not working. Is it the button isn't working?
You can also try and right click it. If it's not allowing you to left click, try the right click and see if that works. Aspen, are you in the Minecraft world? Are you in the data center?
Oh, the link isn't working for the education.minecraft.net. I put the link to the Cloudcraft on the Minecraft site.
Okay.
Okay.
So another thing that we can do, and Aspen, I will guide you through this. So when you are in Minecraft, let me close out of my world. All of you guys can, if you're already going, go ahead and continue on. I'm going to get those that were not able to get into the world here with me, okay? So from your main screen, you can also go to new and featured, and let's try it this way, Aspen, and see if this works for you, okay? So when you click new and featured, Cloudcraft is going to be over here on the top left. Okay, and then go ahead and click create world. Let me know if that works for you. Jory, when you're done with that first mission, go ahead and take a screenshot of your certificate, and then you will go back to the main area and accomplish the other 4. Okay, Aspen, did that help you? Yes, this is great. And yes, you guys can use the chat to ask these questions. I don't know how to plant the trees. So anybody else that might be in the trees and having to plant trees, good, Aspen, I'm glad you're in. Thank you.
And then how do you put the tree in the cage? Is anyone else in that architect where you are finishing any of those challenges?
Tips and tricks are great to go ahead and put in the chat. So if you know how to do it, help one of your peers out. This might be somebody in your normal class. It might be somebody else in a different class in a different state. We're here to be able to collaborate.
Oh, so we have some tips there.
Go up the ladder. Arabella says go up the ladder. Alexander said click on the lever. Okay.
Yes. Oh, and then we also have a tip for using the number keys on your keyboard to choose those items from your hotbar.
Jory, that's a great question. The screenshots you can use and put those in the Padlet if you would like to share those. If not, that's okay as well. But we want you to have that for yourself. Great. Nice troubleshooting, guys. Good job. Thank you. Okay, if you have questions, go ahead and put those in the chat. We'll be happy to help you.
Oh, so on an iPad, can't right click or left click.
So you're going to click and hold, and that's going to help you to do that. Touch device is a little bit different. Yep.
Well, nice. There's our first certificate.
Yay.
Yeah, the arrow one is difficult. That one, has anyone gotten into the place where you shoot the arrow?
I'm still struggling with that one. Okay, Parker, yes, using a mouse sometimes does help. But if you're on an iPad, you don't have that option necessarily.
All right, so how did you get past shooting the arrow? Give us some tips and tricks.
Awesome. And teachers, if you would like to turn your cameras back on, you should be able to do that. Corbin, that's great. Loving the certificates. Now, those of you that are completing some of these missions, we're gonna hopefully ask you guys if you know how to get through them to help out your other peers here that are on our call. There you go. Thank you, Dustin.
Also, please remember, if you have a question or a comment, you can put it in the chat. We're having some good conversations here. Oh, there you go. Go backward. That's a great tip there.
Oh, Allie, great tip. Thank you.
So if you're having trouble with what to do, you remember you can use those non-player characters to help you. You can go back to the non-player characters and see what they have to say.
The architect is a tough one to keep working, keep troubleshooting. Any tips anyone can share, that'd be great.
Nice. We have someone with 3 certificates.
That's great.
Excellent.
If you are not able to take a screenshot and share it in the chat, that's okay. You don't have to, John. It's just if you would really like to, you can. Otherwise, we can also show you how to put that on the Padlet if you would like as well. And just keep in mind, some of you may not get through one mission. We've had students and people go through this lesson and haven't gotten through one lesson because they got one of the most challenging lessons and missions. And so you may not get through one, and some may get through 3, and that's okay. You'll have the ability to go back in and try it again whenever you want to.
Oh. So we see when we have a player who was underwater and it made them use all their bone meal.
And Allie, that's okay. I'm glad you have your certificates. Don't worry about sending them. It's okay. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, these are great. All right, we do have a player with their hand up, and I just want to make sure we don't have if we have a question, we can ask it in the chat.
Yeah, so if your hand is up and you have a question, thank you for being respectful. You can go ahead and ask that in the chat, and you can put your hand down. That's just fine. Thank you. Oh, Allie, great tip about the bone meal. That's awesome. Thank you. That's going to save me. I already know that one because I'm like, yep, I'm going to need to use that.
Nice tip. Thank you. And teachers, if your students are getting certificates and you just want to let us know how they're doing, that would be great too. We'd love to hear from the teachers to see how your classes are doing.
Ah, John, you may have helped me with my final tree as well. See, I love learning from you guys. Thank you so much. You have no idea how much I appreciate this.
Yes. We've had our own challenges when we were playing this game. So we had our own Teams chat going as well,
Yeah.
and asking, giving us information on how we got through it.
Tessa, you're on the iPad, correct? So if you push and hold, does it do anything for you? Try that for me and let me know what that does, okay? If you push and hold on the iPad. And it's that bottom button. It's not the red one that's spinning, it's the bottom one.
Yeah, if you look in that picture that was just sent in the chat, you'll see all of the names. So it's the one, there should be a button underneath
Yeah.
those.
Oh, great, Christian. Hopefully that helped. That didn't help. Oh dear. Okay, well, Tessa, just know that even though you're struggling right now, I am so sorry for that, but you will have this as a recording, so you can go back in and you can try to continue to try some things. Did you close out of Minecraft and come back in and start a new world? Maybe that will do it for you as well. And anybody else on an iPad, if you could help out, that would be great also.
Ooh, look, we have someone with all.
Wow, Kayla.
I am. I did not do this.
Wow,
This
that's
timeframe.
great.
So
Congratulations, Kayla.
yes, Kayla, we might be asking you to help us with any tips
Yes.
with how you got through it.
Should be able to
You
see.
played it before.
Yeah, that community. Oh,
That's
that. Okay, that makes a
great. I
difference.
played it a lot before too, but I don't think I've made it through this quickly. So that's great.
Yeah.
Then.
I'm not sure, Parker. So Jory, when you're all done, you can go ahead and explore your environment. You should see your community that was built. And so you can go and see how your data center grew and the community grew around it. You're also welcome to go back through and explore within your world and capture any screenshots if you would like. You're also very welcome to help troubleshoot within the chat. Kayla, same thing if you'd be willing to do that. That's great. Yes, and Jamie made a good comment. Fly up and take a perspective from above. I call it the drone effect. I love flying drones. So I like to go up and see what your community completely looks like and just explore around there and even take some screenshots while you're flying as well.
Yeah, going to see that community is a great way to see how data centers help the communities around them. You can go and look in the world. I actually got some really good house building tips from from looking in there.
You should be able to fly, Jory. That's interesting. You might want to troubleshoot that one, Jory. I could give you a tip, but I want you to try and figure it out on your own if you can. Colton gave it away. Thanks, Colton. But yes. Yes, if you change your settings to creative, you could fly and then you can take that. Very good. See, Colton, you gave him the answer right away. I was going to make Joshy work for it a little bit, but hey, that's okay. Good collaboration.
Yes.
We're going to give you guys just a couple more minutes because we have some exciting opportunities for you that are still yet coming up. So good job, Ari. Way to complete that architect. I was not able to complete that one yet. I'm stuck on that one.
The one certificate I need.
Yep. So I'm going to take all of these tips and tricks and I'm going to have to go back in this afternoon and try it again.
Yes, the Padlet is so helpful and this chat has been amazingly helpful. So I'm very excited.
Hey, look at, we've got Stormy Daniels' classroom. Look at that. Hi. That is great. Yes. Okay, so we have just a couple of minutes left. So what I would like you guys to do, and I know this is going to be very difficult, but I would like for you all to hit escape and pause and save and exit out of your game. Okay, wherever you are right now, when you go back into the world, you will start right from this place. Okay, but go ahead and save and exit. So when you hit escape, you're going to save and exit. That's going to have this world saved to your world on the device that you are currently on. Okay, so it's going to show up in View My Worlds and you will see it'll be here. You can go back to it at a later time, but we have some exciting guests with us today. And so we would like your full attention as we get ready to introduce you to them. So Mary, I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to allow you to go ahead.
I will grab that. All right, so before we meet our special guest, we do want to give you about 5 minutes to reflect. We had such good comments in our chat, but what we want to do is give everyone an opportunity to go into the Padlet window and give their feedback. We want to think about what role or roles did you experience? Some of us experienced all of them. Some of us experienced a few of them. And then reflect on that experience. What was your favorite activity? What was the most challenging activity? And then, like, what tips would you give someone? So I really found this really challenging. We got the tip about walking backward. That was a great tip to give. Let's put that on our Padlet. And all of the people who have been playing this game in our live lessons and in our on-demand sessions have been adding to the Padlet. So you'll be able to interact with people from all over the United States. We did have a teacher from Italy who joined us in our first live lesson. So this is an international Padlet we're going to be joining. So let's go into that Padlet once again. Let's look at it. So this is the Padlet here. What we'd like for you to do is just choose one. And when you click on the plus sign here, you'll get the window. It would be great if you could put just your initials and then the state where you live. So if you want to put your initials and the state where you live, you can talk. I really liked doing the cable challenge in this game, in this particular role, because I love doing puzzles. So I love puzzles and enjoyed the cables because it was like doing a puzzle. So I would put something like this, give a tip for how to help complete it, and then talk about what was challenging for me in here too. And then when I'm ready, I'll just click publish here and we'll see it added to our Padlet. So if you would like, so just add your initials and then the state where you live, and then just put in some reflection information. I'm going to go ahead and set our timer for about 5 minutes. And then we'll have special guest. And y'all hear the specific. I might. All right, so if you finish, and just give me a thumbs up in the chat once you finish. So if you can finish, we can move on to our next section of our lesson. All right, if you're having trouble getting to the Padlet, just, I think if you can copy the link and then come to it later, that would be great. All right, so I see a lot of thumbs up.
Sloan, once you get your information into the Padlet, go ahead and give us a thumbs up in the chat, or just let us know in the chat that you're good to go. I know sometimes, Mary, that music is a little bit loud, so when you're talking, the music is kind of more than you are. I love the music. There you go. But it was so hard to hear you. So I think we've got a lot of thumbs. And if you weren't able to get into the Padlet to reflect right now, that's okay. You have the link, and I will again put it into the chat so that you have it. You can write that down, and you can access it later, and you'll always be able to add to that when you do get an opportunity to do that.
All right, so it looks like most of our attendees are finished with their Padlets. I'm super excited. I just want to pop up real quick and see what kinds of things we have here. This is exciting. I cannot wait to go back and read through these. But before, I'll do that on my own, so I'm going to bookmark that. But I do want to, let's hear from a data center employee. We have Brittany Gitman, who has joined us today. If you would like to, we're going to hear from Brittany. She's going to tell us what it's like to be a data center employee. I'm super excited about this. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen at this point so we can see Brittany.
And yes, everyone, also, as we are listening to Brittany and hearing her story, we won't be able to ask any questions. So please refrain from using the chat and just focus on Brittany and listening to her story, okay? Hey, Brittany.
Good. Hey guys, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Um, hey, my name is Brittany. I'm a real life data center technician for Microsoft right here in Boynton, Virginia. I've been working with Microsoft for about 2 years now, and I've been working in the IT field for a little bit over 5 years. So I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the day-to-day of what I do and what goes on. I don't get to catch bugs or plant trees or shoot arrows like you guys did in the game, unfortunately. But it's the same concept. In reality, big part of my job is to keep the cloud running and to keep everything in the DC working. On a typical day, I specifically work on deploying new gear. So whenever we have a customer that needs more space or capacity in their cloud, I fulfill that need. A lot of the time I specifically work on gear that no one has ever seen before at other data centers or, new stuff that companies have. So I get to be the one that unboxes it, turns it on, get it working, and making sure that it's up and running for our customers. Um, I also get to troubleshoot a lot of the new stuff. So, the stuff people have never seen before, I get to take it apart and kind of play with it before anybody else does. So to me, that's really cool. On the flip side, I also work on a lot of decommissions. A decommission is when we get rid of old equipment. It's not old to anyone outside of the data center, but here, if it's 2 years old, we're like, oh, it's old to us, and we get rid of it. So when a customer upgrades and wants the latest servers or the latest network devices, my job is to get fulfill that request and get it all out and get it out of the DC for them. But as a data center technician, we get to do a lot of troubleshooting. So when things go wrong, we get a ticket for it. So, if a customer's having issues, they let us know, and then we go in and take care of their need. So if you like puzzles or problem solving or enjoy playing on Cloudcraft, then this is definitely the best place for you guys to be. There is always something to do at a data center. I like a fast-paced environment. It makes my day go by faster. So if you like staying busy and being in there with here, this is the data centers for you. It looks like a lot of you guys are late elementary school or middle school age, and that's when I really became interested in this career field. When I was y'all's age, I would see a lot of like technology, like the cash register at Walmart or a doorbell, anything, and I looked at it and thought, how does that work, or why does this work the way it does? So I liked learning and not just fixing it, but understanding the why behind all of that. And so I knew that I was drawn to it. Being a female, I was a little apprehensive joining this field because it's mainly male dominated. Just like a lot of people associate being a teacher or being a nurse with females, some people look at scientists or mechanics and they think men. So that was the initial barrier that kept me from pursuing and doing what I wanted. So the more research I did, and then I finally took a leap of faith and did what I wanted to do, I realized that Microsoft has opportunities for everyone, despite your race or your gender. Anyone can do this field. So if there's any females out there watching that think that this is something they can't do, I promise you, you can do it. And just like the gentleman on here, you can do it. It's anybody can do this field. I went to school for technology, but any of those fields, any STEM field, so science, technology, engineering, or mathematics, any of those are, if you're good at it and you enjoy these, then I think it would be a great place for you to jump in and finish your schooling and have an opportunity to go. Technology is always growing, and there's always going to be need for more cloud capacity because, as you can see, we're just getting more and more stuff constantly. So it's definitely a good field to get into if you're interested in it. Good. Does anybody have any questions?
I do have one question.
Yes, ma'am.
I was wondering if you could explain how you've seen data centers enhancing the communities where they're located. What
Okay.
kinds of things happen?
Yeah, personally in this area, I'm in Southern Virginia is where we're at. So it used to primarily be a farm community. We don't have very many job options. It was very limited to what you could do here. So Microsoft coming and building their DC here, of course, made crazy job opportunities. We're doing a lot of growth. We're building 6 more data centers down here at the moment. So job opportunities. They help the community a lot with donations for the schools. We recently helped plant some trees at a new high school that they just built. So we do fundraisers with schools and stuff. We usually go just like this virtual career expo kind of deal. We also do that, in local communities and schools. So I think just really bringing more population to this small town area and then giving everyone the opportunity that they wouldn't have had before. So I'm trying to scroll through the chat to find some questions.
We have one question of, do you do any coding? And also, how long have you been doing this?
Okay, for coding, no, that's not something that I do. That's something more like a software engineer would take care of. There are certain things that we can do, like we mess with like Microsoft, like SQL or something like that. We know we have to make sure that everything's configured properly, but it's not something that I do all the time. I do a lot of work with, which is kind of like a command prompts where we plug into the servers and stuff. And I've been doing this, I've been working with technology for about 5 years now. I used to just be an IT support technician before I came to Microsoft, and I worked on, your typical printers, printers, computers, stuff like that, security systems, stuff like that. And then I got lucky and got onto Microsoft, and now I deal with things in a much bigger capacity. I remember my first day when I was touring the data center because it's more massive than what you can imagine. I remember walking in and seeing the racks, and I looked up at all the cable managements and all the infrastructure, and I was like, oh Lord, what did I get myself into? But once you see one data center and you walk into another one, they all look the same at that point. You're used to the lights and the cabinets and all the computers all around you. I saw a good question. All right, so Carter Hill says, do you guys have to plan out everything? Yes, we do. It's extensive planning that we have that goes on. We actually have a position called a data center project manager, and their jobs are to manage projects. So anytime, before it even comes to me, it goes to a group of requesters, and they know that they need to get racks or computers or servers for this customer. They send it to the project managers, and then the project managers get it all together for us and give it to us and say, hey, go do that. So it's lots of extensive planning for deployments. I have to go through and make, like I said before, we had to make cable maps to show where all the connections go. We need to make sure we have infrastructure installed for everything to connect to where it needs to connect to. It's a lot of planning.
So one question that keeps coming back is, how old do you have to be to work in a data center? That's a great question.
I want to say it's 18. I think you have to be at least 18, and I think that's mainly for a safety thing, just because of some of the equipment we work with. We want to make sure you're mature enough to come in and work, work alongside of it. But but there's no really any restrictions as far as, age ranges. I am 26 right now. I started back when I was right before I turned 24. So I kind of got into it, in my eyes, later than I would have wanted to. I wish I had started back when I was 18.
So what do you have to, does everyone in the data center have a college degree, or can people start working there right out of maybe high school?
Yes, there's
certifications too. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be really surprised. I want to say over half of our employees here at Boynton, they do not have a formal degree. They actually jumped out of the workforce and came into came in to work here. A lot of it to me is certifications is the biggest thing because technology, you can get a degree, but technology changes so fast. You know, you almost always have to go to school because it's so many upgrades going through it. I myself went to school. I just did an associate's program. I did 2 years for technology, business technology, and then kind of rolled in. I'm working on getting certifications. Like I said, things change all the time. So I feel like I'm always going to school and always studying.
So for this, you would really suggest that they get some certifications.
Yes.
You don't necessarily have to have the college degree, but the certification is really important.
Oh, yes, definitely.
And we do keep getting asked, what's your favorite part of your job?
Okay. My favorite part of my job is just kind of my day's never the same. I don't sit down and do boring things all day long. I get to see new devices come in, and then the next day I get to help assist running cables, or the next day I get to, work with network devices. I never do the same thing. So I like that diversity that we go through. I really like the people that I work with because we have such diverse people. When I first started here, I think we had less than 20% of women working for Microsoft. So when I first started here, I was the oddball out. I was with a lot of men. But, since then it's changed a whole lot. We have so much going on at one time. It's so much growth and it's fast paced. So I really enjoy my job.
That's awesome. All right, well, we are about at time. So we want to thank you for being here and for answering the questions and giving us a good overview of being in a data center and working there. And I love that people can go and receive certifications to work there. 18 is the age, the youngest, right? The entry age for folks. And I think that's great information. And thank you for explaining how it's helped the community, especially where you are. That was a huge thing too for us. So thank you so much. I'm going to give some final wrap up thoughts so we can let the students who are here get back to get on with their school day. So thank you, Brittany, for joining us. If everyone wants to give her a round of applause or a thumbs up or a smiley face, that would be great. Thanking Brittany for coming here and being here with us.
Good. All righty. Thank you, guys. You guys have a great day.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
All right. And just some final thoughts before we end the session. Just a couple of things is just a few reminders of what we talked about, what we learned. We hope you understand more about the impact of the cloud, how the cloud is run, what kinds of jobs are in data centers, and how data centers help your community, which is huge. I loved how she said it helped her community grow and provided jobs for them. A couple of reminders, this is for the teachers. You will be getting an email. Please do complete the session survey in your post-session email. You'll also get a badge and certificates for your students and a link to the recording. So just a reminder that this is recorded. You will have the recording. Thank you all for being here. Students, I cannot thank you enough for the tips that you gave in the chat. Thank you for adding the tips to the Padlet. We really enjoyed being here with you and spending this time with you.